What's up, guys? It's Mike from the Earth's Mightiest Zeros, and I'm here to bring you my review of Disney's The Jungle Book. This feels like the 7th adaptation of The Jungle Book, and maybe it is, but spoiler alert, this might be the best. Now, at D23, we saw some footage from this movie before really anybody else had, and Jon Favreau introduced it as the most technologically advanced movie of all time. And pretty much everybody in the audience kind of scoffed at that. And then we saw the footage, and it looked incredible. It basically stole the show. I cared about this more than I cared about Civil War at the time. And it became quickly one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And it didn't disappoint. This movie is stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's probably some of the best CGI I've ever seen in my life. It's just mind-blowing because everything in this movie was filmed on a soundstage in Los Angeles. There's so much stuff in here that you'd be like, oh yeah, this is totally filmed on location. And like, you'd be like, oh yeah, maybe I can say that like one of these animals is like CGI or something. But no, it's the environments too. That's what makes this so insane. Now, I grew up with watching the animated Disney film from the 60s. Recently, I watched it again, and it still holds up pretty well. There's some animation and voicing and stuff like that that gets lost a little bit. But this movie, I think, could replace it. It's fantastic. It could be the quintessential Jungle Book story now. I'm so happy that kids these days now can grow up watching this as I did with the animated version, because I feel like I don't even need to watch that anymore because this is really that good. Now let's talk a little bit about the voice talent. When they originally announced the casting, it sounded spot on, and that didn't disappoint either. The voice talent in this movie is unbelievable. Bill Murray as Baloo is a revelation. He is so good, and this is the funniest I've seen Bill Murray in years. I mean, recently it's almost like he's kind of phoning it in a lot of his roles, but he is so good. Then we have Sir Ben Kingsley as Bagheera, and equally as good, if not better. He is so good in this movie. I honestly don't know how they got these so perfectly. It's just amazing. Next we have Idris Elba as Shere Khan. Shere Khan in this movie could be one of the best villains we've seen on screen in a long time. His motivation works. His voice is just booming and scary. He has some scenes where it's almost too scary, I think, for kids seeing this, and it's amazing. Christopher Walken as King Louie is an amazing little role in this. Lupita Nyong'o is excellent. Scarlett Johansson, even though she has a really small role in this movie, kills it when she is on screen. The one real person in this movie is Mowgli. He's played by a young boy named Neil Sethi. I think I got that right. But he is so fantastic in this movie. It is so hard for even the best actors working today to act against a green screen and act against nothing, really, because there's no real anything in this movie. And he did it amazing. There was really no scene in the movie where I was like, oh yeah, he's acting against, some big ball or something like that. He was so good, and I was so surprised to see just how good he was. I loved it. Now we'll get to the downsides, I thought, of this movie. And there's only really a couple because it really is a great movie. The first being Kaa, which I just mentioned. Kaa is one of my favorite parts of the original story. And the scene that they have right in this movie, it's a little bit too much of just like explaining history and like explaining. I really like how they did it. I just don't really like what they did with it, if that makes sense. You'll understand when you watch it, but there's just like a little bit too much explaining that didn't really have to happen. The next thing is there's a couple of like musical numbers that kind of come out of nowhere, and they're good musical numbers. I really like them. They just kind of happen. And it's like there's no real build up to what's happening. And then my last downside is almost an upside, and it's the fact that this movie looks so beautiful. I was almost distracted. There's parts where I'm just in awe of what they did technologically, that it like almost took me away from what I was watching because it looked so beautiful. Overall, I would give this movie an A-. I want to go watch it again tomorrow. and probably a day after that, so I can catch the things that I missed when I was just in awe of what I was seeing. There's great humor in this movie, incredible tension. It's really stressful at times, especially if you're an animal lover. But it is a fantastic movie, and I think the best Jungle Book story that we'll ever get. Definitely go watch it this weekend. Go take your family, your friends, everybody should see this movie. Now I want to know, what did you think of the movie? What was your favorite part? Who was your favorite voice actor? Sound off in the comments below. Please give this video a like, it really helps us out. And subscribe to our channel if you want more videos like this. We got all kinds of fun stuff on there. You can also go to our website, www.earthsmightiestzeros.com, and we'll see you in the next video.